So, how the lit salons sort of work is that we get a whole, like someone puts together all the submissions that we get into a document, and then it's a blind voting process. And this next piece, this suite of poetry by Isaac Thornton, was much loved by everyone. Isaac Thornton likes to tell people that he is a writer and a teacher. This statement, which is a small line, does seem to distract them from the truth, that he is little more than a moneyless student. He first fell in love with the written word at the age of 9 and has since written numerous short horror stories, and in the past 6 months, a small suite of poems. He has also started work on his first novel, influenced by the writing of both Franz Kafka and Edgar Allan Poe, but you should not hold your breath for it. Please welcome Isaac.
I knew I was going to trip on that thing. I was looking at it going, I'm going to trip on that, and I did. Thank you so much. That made me sound really pretentious, and I wrote it, so I didn't think I sounded that pretentious when I was writing it. It's funny, because I have 4 poems to share with you tonight, but I feel like my first poem is sort of like an abstract to what Verity was just reading about. It almost feels like they planned this, like they saw it and put them together. I don't know if they did or not. But my first poem is about 2 experiences. It's about being told that swear words don't belong in creative writing, and the experience of wanting to tell them where to shove it, but swallowing that. This is fuck is an overused word. Fuck the old man who rear-ended me in standstill traffic, then blamed me for it. Fuck due dates that are too close to each other. Fuck all the fathers that headed out for ice cream and never came back. Fuck all the friends who were my suit of armor until they were the sword in my back. Fuck the vacuum cleaner. Mum asked me to add that one. Fuck the teacher who emailed me back with refer to the task sheet. Fuck the task sheet itself. Fuck the patriarchy for signing me on at birth. Did you even think to ask? Fuck synesthesia for turning letters like Y and G into something so gut-wrenchingly disgusting. Fuck all of it. Fuck is an overused word? Fuck that. I wish I used it more. So I tried to stick as much as possible to the theme of being salty, angry, which wasn't too hard because I am very salty and very bitter, which you'll get a sense of as I keep reading. This next poem is about an experience that I've had since I was a young teenager, and I think it kind of speaks for itself, so I'm going to let the poem do the talking. This is a cigarette. Sometimes, when due dates and shift times amass, roil into the thing, the original, not the remake, I will burn for the bitter taste of a cigarette. At least, bitter is how I think it must taste, as bitter as blacker than black coffee poured into a cardboard cup, as dinner time conversation that leaves blood all over the tablecloth, all over our teeth. I had never smoked a cigarette, do not think I will, but I swear that when I bring my thumb and forefinger to my mouth, I can breathe in that smoke, thick like wet concrete, set like a tumor. I choke on his secondhand smoke. It does not matter if I retch, he continues to draw more and more of that bitterness that makes him less bitter, that makes him smile like it will all be okay for a little while. Sometimes, when bed takes me to the theater scene from Clockwork Orange, restraining me to re-watch memories with wire and leather, I will burn for the bitter taste of a cigarette. If you see me shaking, it's not nerves at all, it's just caffeine. I promise, I swear. This next poem, I think, is almost like a thesis for the rest. It talks to a piece of myself that I think is responsible for so much of my anger, but also for it being kept inside me, restrained within me, and never let out. This is Ode to Cowardice. Old friend, it does not seem like you to have followed me into this world under the spotlight of the delivery room, but rather to have crawled into the crib and cleaved to me there. Cleave to me or toss me out the window, pouring dollar store slime into the baby-shaped indent in the mattress. You left me boneless, not spineless, but the backbone is missed the most. When she called me, autumn hair pulled up and pixelated and told me that it was just a kiss, was it you who pinched my tongue? Pinched it like he did her breast under the covers not 1 month later? When she, another she, texted that her father would not wake from the Valium dissolved into his coffee, that she would see me soon, was it you who deleted my what the fuck text? Who stretched my mouth into an unsure smile when a drunk described the colour of his cock? You have sewn my mouth shut over and over, left me no choice but to write it all down. Please, do not scratch out their names, reduce them to she and he. Please, leave me this confession. This last one is the most recent. All of the others I wrote last year, actually during, I forget the name of it, but the unit that we do for poetry and creative writing. Whereas this one was written after I had gone to a metal concert. I love metal concerts. And I was reflecting on the fact that I often feel like an angry person, but when I look inwards, I see that that anger isn't really there. It feels fictional. So this is He is Mad. Sometimes it is hard for him to tell if he is mad or if it is more that he thinks he ought to be. There is so much to be mad about, after all. Prices are a pain point, poor person murder marketed as money-making, all because businesses deal in bottom dollars, not common courtesies. Loved ones and lovers alike tie with tender hands a noose around his neck, an act that is, in itself, an affection that, even after each of them has let him down, will hold. Those on the street are seldom as tender. They hook into him with their barb-like brashness, their fish-line frankness, until such sentiments are so far under his flesh that he cannot carve them free. He is held down day after day, drowned in work and in studies, all of it salt in the same wound he has carried since he was a child, cut with the words, work harder, until the words were all he could understand. But when he tries to feel it, to scream fuck off and fuck that, at all he has suffered, at all he has swallowed, when he sinks to his knees and crunches his knuckles into the concrete, bleeds until he believes that he is mad, he has to be mad, all it makes him is sad. He surrenders, sacrifices all that he has, tightens the noose around his neck, tucks the hook further into his flesh, works himself half to death, and wishes to work the other half too. Sometimes he thinks this ought to make him madder, but it does not. It does not. And that's all I've got.